We're with Western Oregon coach Jim Shaw, tournament MVP Devon Alexander, and sophomore guard Alex Roth. The Wolves have just beaten Alaska Fairbanks 78-71 in the GNAC Tournament championship game. Coach, let's talk to you. 4 ties, 17 lead changes, just a monster of a game. Just your opening thoughts, please.
Well, I thought Fairbanks played really well. I'd like to give them a lot of credit. They were extremely hard team to stop, and we kept talking about different ways to try and stop them, and then finally we just went with let's make shots instead, and we made a few more shots than they did. But I thought they played extremely well, and I thought that after we settled in that we played well.
Devon, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, like Coach said, to follow up on that, they're a really good team. They play together. Slogan is a good guard. Javante can score the ball, and we were very fortunate to hit some key shots with Alex Roth. He came up huge at the end, and just want to thank the coaching staff. I want to thank all my teammates. I want to thank God, all the fans, and it was a tremendous win.
And finally, Alex, your thoughts, please.
It was a grind from the start. Both teams are very great teams. Obviously, we were 1 and 2, but it all comes down to our senior leadership. That's what really separated the game. Devon, wow. That's all I got to say is just wow. Amazing guy right here, offense and defense. And the coaching staff did a phenomenal job too.
We've thrown the word history around with this team pretty loosely this year. Obviously having the first preseason national ranking, able to hold that for the entire year, able to make it to #1. But now we get to add the first ever Western Oregon GNAC tournament title. From coaching and players' perspectives, knowing that this season continues on towards the regionals, how have these stepping stones as they are guided your way to get you to one of your major goals, get to the regional, and from all looks of it, hosting it?
Well, I think that we talk about the season being a journey, and each day is a part of the process in that journey, and that every time you have an opportunity that you need to make sure that you're prepared to do your best, and they need to do your best. And so we had an opportunity today, and I talked to the team about the fact that we're playing a team that season is most likely on the line. That's what they have on the line. And no matter what happens today, the reality of it is tomorrow we're going to be the 1 seed in the West, and so some people on the outside would see them having a higher level of sense of urgency. But I said that's not reality if we try to seize the opportunity. And I mean, I've known their coach for years and years, and we're good friends, and he's like a brother to me, but for those 2 hours, that doesn't matter. So, and I thought our guys approached it with the right mindset and took advantage of the opportunity they had.
Yeah, to touch on what Coach said, he really pushes us in practice, and this journey has been so hard, but I'm thankful for it. It's such an incredible feeling to see the guys that you grew up with for 4 years, and they get a little piece of the pie as well. And the whole school now, we got another history mark to make. We're in the regionals, and I'm just thankful. And it's going to be a process, but we're not done yet. We're not satisfied.
Alex, we've thrown again the word journey around, and you definitely have one that if you were to put it on a screenplay would sell a lot of tickets at movies. There have been some games where you've thrown up 18 points. You've done that 3 times this year. You've led the team on a couple of occasions. There have also been games where you get a handful of minutes, but you're cheering from the bench. Today, take us through the mindset of knowing just what was on the line and getting those open shots and the process of just putting them through the net.
Well, it's a senior-led team. I know my role. It's these guys' team. I'm an outsider on looking in, but I give it all the credit. They welcome me with open arms. Games like today, it's just coaches have faith that I'm going to get in and knock shots and hopefully play an FD that I don't get subbed out. And that's it.
Coach,
were you hiding them in the first half?
No, you know, the thing was, at halftime, I talked generally to everybody, but I talked specifically to Alex and Andy for a reason, in that Andy was deferring too much. And good, bad, or indifferent, he's an All-American for a reason. He's a 2-time Conference Player of the Year for a reason, and he was deferring too much. And after watching the first half, I knew we were going to need to score in order to beat them. This wasn't going to be a game that was in the 50s. And Alex is capable of guarding somebody on their team, whichever guy we match him up with. But I saw a different look in his eyes. I saw a concentration on what I was saying. And I knew that if he locked in mentally, that he was good enough physically to make a difference in this game because of his ability to make plays at the offensive end. He can do things I can't coach. And so those were the two guys that subtly I was hoping to get going for the second half. Maybe it wasn't quite as subtle with Andy. But I knew we needed both of those guys because the flow of the game was such that we weren't going to win unless we weren't going to win scoring 31 points in the second half.
Coach, you gave up 87 against them last time. You held them to 71 this time. Did any change in plan, or just the guys buckling down a little bit more out there defensively?
No, we weren't playing them in Fairbanks. So I guess that was a little different. I thought we did a lot better job on the boards. You know, we out-rebounded them by 16, so we were clearly the more physical team. Devon had 10 rebounds. We were more physical, but I just think it was the guys having a desire to finish this part of the process, this step in the journey, and because they knew, I was honest with them, coming up here we were going to be the one seed in the West. Whether we lost to Seattle Pacific, lost today, I mean that part there's too much difference between the seedings. But still we had an opportunity, and I could have been prouder of how hard we played yesterday. And today too, it just was a very different type of game. But if you're going to be good, and our guys are good, you have to be able to win more than one way.
And win 3 in a row. You got to win 3 in 3 days.
Next week, I thought the Sunday was off.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm saying this week. You went Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Oh no, you were off Thursday. I'm sorry.
No,
we worked twice.
We were chilling on Thursday.
Monday. So both these guys were clutch. Talk about that.
Well, Devon's just a very clutch player. That's part of his identity, and I can't remember what game it was, a couple games back, where we rested him a little bit, and down the stretch, he just, bam, he gave a huge punch. And so, at around the 9-minute mark, I can't remember exactly when, he probably can't, because he didn't want to come out, I took him out for 2 minutes because I thought, you know what, this game's not going to get decided between the 9 and the 7-minute mark, and I want him to have a punch down the stretch. And he had a punch down the stretch.
It's just good coaching.
Yeah, it's good playing. I've done both. I know which.
Coach, this entire tournament, 5 games, your 7-point margin, that was the widest margin of winning in the entire tournament. Talk about this whole parity in the tournament and up and down in the conference as well.
Yeah, I think in March, everyone's got a lot of skin in the game. And so you're going to take people's best shot, and all the teams are pretty good, and there's not a lot of margin. I mean, we beat Seattle Pacific 3 times, twice in overtime by a point, and Fairbanks we beat by 5. They beat us, I think, by 7. We beat them by 7. But today's game was probably closer than a 7-point game. So I just think that that's one of the things I'm proudest of, is that as much parity as there is, we won the league by 3 games outright. And the only 2 games we lost were in Fairbanks, the team that took second, and at Central to the team that was pretty good too, and maybe a game that we let get away a little bit.
Alex, how is it when you only play a couple minutes in the first half, and then the first part of the second half, and you weren't playing, coming off the bench? I mean, obviously you came out firing, but is that your mentality? Is that, how do you keep your head in the game?
Well, you just gotta know that your teammates and coaches, they have faith in you. It doesn't matter if you play 1 minute or 10 minutes. They're gonna have faith in you as soon as you come in to step in and do your role and knock down shots and play hard D. So I gotta give all the credit to them, just keeping faith through the first half, through the first couple minutes. They still had faith.
Alex is a really good offensive player. I mean, we're all works in progress, including myself, and he's a little bit of a work in progress on defense. But offensively, he's a really good offensive player. Making baskets, I'll speak up for him, making baskets is not a complicated thing for him. He's a good scorer.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Congratulations, guys.